Peace and greetings and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age to Suit. As always, I'm Fro. I got my man Panero with me, and I got my man better known as DL from the ATL with me. Peace, fellas. What's good? What's good?
Man, end of a great week, start of a new week. You know what I mean? My birthday was last week, and I appreciate everybody who reached out to me. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the guys here at the show laid it on me, and people over the internet, my family. So I want to say, everybody, thank you for that, man. But very good week. I finally won. I won a case in Gwinnett, which was good. So I'm moving along, man. I'm about to buy all these magistrate courts, Christmas cards and shit to butter them up.
Nice.
And show my appreciation for their efforts with me, man. And yeah, I'm glad to be here with you boys on a football Sunday. Let's go.
That's peace, man. I'm glad you had an excellent born day. Panera, what's good with you in the 716ers, my dude?
Yo, first off, happy born day to my guy, Donnie Unitas, up in the piece.
Appreciate it.
Hair growing like Samson. That's where his strength is in his hair. You know what I'm saying? Every year it's growing more and more.
Man,
Take my hat off, you will see nothing under this joint. I got a little something, but I ain't got much. But yeah, man, my week is so far so good. You know where I'm at in the 716, where the snow just hangs around one area and beats it down. But other than that, man, you know what we're waiting on.
You already know what we waiting on.
No, we waiting on. 425, baby. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Paramount Plus, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, man. As you said, as you know what we waiting on. So let's get right into it then. 425 in the Motor City. We talked about it last week. Looking towards this week. How you feeling today about the Bills and the D, man?
The Bills are a dog. They're 2.5-point underdog. I like that. But when we were talking earlier, our defense didn't look good last week. They didn't make the adjustments they needed to. When they did, it was too late. Josh put on the cape and set some records. But then again, it don't matter if you can't stop anybody else from scoring. So we got to stop Detroit from scoring. And like Coach Renfro said earlier before we started the show, keep Detroit's offense from going to the middle of the field. That's what they do, right, Fro?
Man, they like the middle of the field. Man, how you feel? What's your outlook for 425 kickoff in the Motor City against that Honolulu blue and silver? Now, how you feel?
That blue is fire too.
I'm excited. I am actually excited because we got two excellent games. My other team, the Eagles, play the Steelers, which is a great game. You know what I'm saying? And then we got the Bills and we got the Lions. I feel good about it. I think the Bills need obviously they can score with Detroit. I just think it's really one of the situations where the defense has to stop the two-headed monster that comes out of their backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs and the other dude, number 5. So I think if we can control their running game, I think that I really don't think that Jared Goff has ever been that dude. And I used to play with the Rams on Madden, so I know how Jared Goff gets down. I just don't think that – I really hope they lose because I play with the Bills on Madden and everybody else in the same world play with Kansas City or Detroit. So if they lose, obviously that's going to give me a little bit of a strategic advantage. But go Bills, man. Stop them running.
I like both of y'all plans and your thoughts on the game, but for me, it's simple, man. The Lions, they do, man. They what, 11, 12-1?
Yeah. 12-1, yeah.
Right now, they Bills is due. They due for a loss right now, man. You know what I mean? They are a really good team, but they ain't no 16-1 type team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
14-3.
They got some blemishes in their game, and I think
but they at the house, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I'm afraid of. Man.
They do though, fam. They ain't lost a game since week 1. They lost to the Bucks.
Right.
Week 1, I thought it was week 2.
It was early in the season. You know what I'm saying? They ain't lost since then. They ready for a setback. So
they've been rolling boys too, though, man. They just got to control it. I think they really just got to control the running backs. You control the running backs, the game is over. Because
the real football shit and not no Buffalo Bill shit. Bills ain't gonna beat these boys today, B. And I would like for them to win today, but what they showed me on defense last week, what have they done since then? 37-24 Lions. It's just awesome.
Oh, damn.
27-24?
37.
37-24.
Lions. And
Wow.
I was Mafia all day, but I'm a realist.
Yeah,
It's not. Josh
Keep it
can't do
100.
it by himself, man. He can't keep doing this, man.
I'm gonna go 38-31 Bills.
I hope that's the case.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna go 38-31.
I ain't giving no scores. I'm telling y'all, the Bills gonna win because the Lions is
Let's
due
go.
to
Well,
have
let's get it then.
a chink
I
in
hope
the
I'm wrong.
game, man. They ain't fucking 16-1 type team, man.
And all my Bills Mafia out there, I ain't no traitor. Share, subscribe, and let me know if I'm full of shit or not.
No doubt, man. But as always, man, the energy is there. I love it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. We got it. We gotta stay on it, man. We represent the town, man. So gotta stay with it.
That's what we talk about, man.
We gotta stay on it.
We're gonna come out of the D and take that short ride back to the building with a W.
Yes, sir.
We're driving through Windsor too, gentlemen, right through Canada.
You know what I mean?
Are they driving?
Bills win.
No, he's flying through that.
But yeah, man, as always, it's always good to see y'all on a Sunday morning, man. We got a lot to talk about this week, man. Since the last time we chopped it up, some big news has come out throughout the culture, man. And this time it had to do with another heavyweight, another whale, another William, as they would call him. JayZ, man, is in the news for some of the wrong types of things, man. And there's a lot of talk. The streets is talking, the networks is talking, the barbers is talking, the deacons is talking, everybody is talking right now, man. So let's set it off top with Jay Hova, man. Get into this real quick.
If you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but it ain't one.
The 99 Problems rapper is adding one more problem to his list. In an amended civil complaint, JayZ, whose real name is Sean Carter, is now being accused of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. The lawsuit was originally filed in October against Sean Diddy Combs, now refiled to openly name JayZ as his alleged co-conspirator. Combs is currently behind bars pending trial on federal charges including sex trafficking.
For JayZ, this presents a very difficult situation because unlike Sean Combs, JayZ doesn't have the opportunity to say that he's being charged criminally and that this civil case should be paused. Instead, this case could go forward and he would have to sit for depositions, argue, defend, show where his whereabouts were, and the light of day could be very damaging to him both in the court of law and the court of public opinion.
JayZ has been famously married to Beyonce for 16 years. They have 3 children together. Today, JayZ denying all allegations, saying in part, "My only heartbreak is for my family," adding, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. His attorney is quickly taking his rebuttal to court, filing a motion to deny the accuser's request to remain anonymous or dismiss the lawsuit, calling it a cynical and calculated campaign to force payment of an exorbitant sum of money.
There are a number of reasons as to why a defendant would ask that a plaintiff be named in a civil lawsuit such as this. They may simply say that getting the name and the time and place of when something occurred would better allow them to prepare for a defense. The other, probably less benign reason is oftentimes when someone is accused of a crime like this, the accuser doesn't want to be named, and if they are forced to be named, we have seen certain people decide to drop the lawsuit altogether. So it could be a tactic to try to get the lawsuit dropped.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
Yeah.
This recent revelation stems from one of at least 7 civil lawsuits against Sean Combs filed in October by attorney Tony Busby, all of which allege Combs sexually abused dozens of victims for over 2 decades.
What shocked me most was that it was going on openly in front of other people that you would know who didn't do anything to stop it.
Busby, a prominent Houston lawyer, is no stranger to going against powerful entities. He represented 12,000 plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the oil company BP following the tragic Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. BP agreed to pay $7.8 billion to compensate local residents who were impacted by the damage. In a statement, Sean Combs' legal team called the lawsuits against their client shameless publicity stunts, and that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor.
For Combs, he's under a lot of fire, both from a civil and a criminal standpoint. He's got a criminal case in the Southern District of New York where he can be going away to prison for decades, if not a lifetime. And as each week seems to pass by, Tony Busby and other individuals seem to just be adding on civil lawsuit after civil lawsuit.
According to the complaint, the 13-year-old Jane Doe was dropped off near the Radio City Music Hall in 2000, hoping to get into that year's Video Music Awards, but instead found her way into an after party.
According to the allegations, when she first got to the party, she was asked to sign something she believes to be an NDA, but she didn't really read the details. After that, she entered the party.
After accepting a drink, she claimed she began to feel woozy and lightheaded and entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down. Moments later, the lawsuit alleges, Combs, Carter, and an unnamed female celebrity entered, all of whom Jane Doe says she recognized. In the lawsuit, Jane Doe then alleges Combs and Carter took turns raping her, and she lay in the bed disoriented, all while celebrity B watched. She claims she was only able to escape after hitting Diddy and running out of the bedroom.
Within the amended lawsuit of Sean Combs and now Sean Carter, the plaintiff is saying that she suffered immeasurable physical and psychological damage, that she had problems with interacting with people down the line, keeping jobs, and being healthy, both physically and mentally.
At the time, the then 30-year-old Carter was nearing the height of his career. With a Best Rap Album Grammy Award under his belt for his record Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, and high-profile collaborations, including with Combs in the 1999 song Do You Like It? Do You Want It?
Painting a better picture than the one that I drew.
In all, JayZ has won 24 Grammy Awards. 2021, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Trying to make me cry in front of all these white people.
Last year, he was named the greatest rapper of all time by Billboard, but his empire transcends the music world. He also founded Rock Nation, an entertainment company. Took a stab at fashion with Rockaware and ventured into hospitality with the 40/40 Club. JayZ, once rising to megastardom with Sean Diddy Combs, now facing disturbing allegations, also together.
When Tony Busby came out with the hundreds of potential civil lawsuits, he told us that there would be some names that could shock us. Now we know who Celebrity A is, JayZ, aka Sean Carter. But the question still remains, who is that female Celebrity B named in that lawsuit, and what other major names could be named in the lawsuits that come forward?
Now we have the alleged female that says that she was raped by Puff and JayZ. We got the footage of her talking to the news. So peep this story, y'all. Let's check this.
Like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver, who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. At the after party, she says she had a drink with Lucy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JayZ can come and rape me. Well, at that point, I was fighting, trying to get away from him. And he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the.
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened. She didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but that's something that would definitely stick in my mind, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statement.
Okay, man. So this is the alleged victim saying all this. She gets a ride from her friend from Rochester to New York. That ain't no ride. You know what I mean? A ride is P. I'm trying to get to the outlet.
Right.
Come scoop me.
Good.
That's a ride. Or man, I need a ride to work. If I call you up and say, man, I need a ride, what's the first thing you gonna say?
Where?
Man, I'm trying to get to the VMAs, yo. Can
you in New York?
Can you drop me off at the VMAs? Wow. So now let's go to I sent you matter of fact, I don't think I did. I only sent you these two. I'm gonna send you another clip real quick.
Her dad, she called her dad. He came from Rochester and just to pick her up. Fuck.
And he don't remember that? How you don't remember driving all the way from Rochester to New York to pick your seed up and then drive all the way back to the Rock, but you don't remember that?
Come on, nigga, ain't that many drugs in the world.
I mean, what we doing? What we doing out here?
They lying. That's what they doing out here. Frivolous.
So the first one we're gonna get into this Busby, pro Busby guy, lawyer, who's gonna paint a picture of how great this case is. So we're gonna listen to him first.
No, so I am an attorney. One of the areas of law that I have the most experience in is working with SA victims.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Carter's doing here. It makes no sense to me. Sean Carter, i.e. JayZ, gets named now as the main defendant in a rape case out of New York by trial attorney Tony Busby. We're seeing Sean Carter come out now and defend himself online, putting out statements. The thing that pops up is not immediately innocence and guilt. It's how did it get this far? Carter starts attacking Tony Busby, saying, hey, he sent me a demand letter and he's trying to extort me. Newsflash, and JayZ's people know this, that every lawsuit starts with a demand letter.
Correct.
Everybody gets put on notice that they have a claim and gives them an opportunity to resolve.
Correct.
Now, if you believe in your innocence, that's fine. But here, what does innocence have to do with this? He has too much exposure going forward. These are heinous allegations. He even says it himself. Now you're getting tied to Sean Combs, who's indicted and standing trial for racketeering and extortion cases, just horrific stuff, RICO violations. And now Carter's brand is being brought into this and being alleged that he raped a 13-year-old. I hear you. I understand the defenses if you're Sean Carter. Hey, 24 years ago, you have an anonymous source, an anonymous victim. It looks like it's just a shakedown by an ambulance attorney. Look at it on the other side. Do you really think Tony Busby, who's a powerhouse trial attorney out of Houston, Texas, who's taken down monster verdicts and literally just got appointed by the Attorney General to take on investment firms on behalf of Texas, moves forward on a lawsuit if it's a bluff? That just doesn't make sense to me. You got to believe that Busby would say, hey, look, I'm not going to allow this case to come down to a he said, she said. Busby knows that the anonymous victim is going to have to be disclosed. They know this anonymous victim is going to have to take depositions. So there has to be more evidence. A bluff would be, hey, I sent you a demand letter saying that we believe you caused these injuries to my client. We're asking for this much money. You say no, and nothing happens. Busby didn't do that. He called his bluff and he took it public. And in fact, he went as far as to say, you know what, we're amending the complaint where we had you as celebrity A that was watching the rape, but now we have enough evidence to believe you were the one who actually committed the rape. Now, John Carter's team will attack that, and they're going to say, you didn't even know what you were doing. But my point is, this can't be a bluff. And my point is, I don't understand what JayZ is doing coming out in the public. He's putting out these statements that Busby's going to use against him. Literally, Carter is saying he represents the heinous nature, he understands it, and that it rises to the level that it's so bad because it's rape, that it should be a criminal prosecution. I could think of nothing better as a trial attorney to use those words against the defendant in a deposition. Remember, you're in the civil context. Busby's going to be able to depose everybody. He's going to be able to get to Combs. He's going to be able to get to Carter. He's going to be able to get to witnesses. They're talking about limousine drivers. Now, yes, there may be a victim issue, but at the end of the day, everybody says, hey, this was 24 years ago. Yeah, let me know how that turned out for Bill Cosby. At the end of the day, I don't understand why Carter's people are letting him get out there and plead this innocence. I get it from a position that you want to get out in front of the jury, you want to claim your innocence. I just think that they're messing up with the wrong tactic by trying to attack the trial lawyer, because this is not a shakedown of Monty's situation. This is a real heavyweight lawyer that knows what he's doing. And Sean Carter better be real careful.
All right, so that's the pro Busby cat right there, as we heard. All right, so now we're gonna get to the pro JayZ attorney.
No, so I am an attorney. One of the areas of law that I have the most experience in is working with SA victims. So I worked on college campuses for the bulk of my career, doing investigations into Title IX issues. This often involves SA, harassment, stalking, exploitation, domestic violence, all those different things. I was a neutral investigator for the university, and I had to investigate these cases using the legal standard preponderance of the evidence, which means that it's like 51% chance this is what happened. That is the standard for civil cases. So what we're going to look at as I talk here is not that she lying, they made it up, it's a cash grab. We're going to look at, based off what they put in these court documents in the interview we saw, can they prove by a preponderance of the evidence in court that this happened? Based on what I have seen, I'm going to say no. That does not make her a liar. That doesn't make this a cash grab. Doesn't make any of those things. My whole point here is that they cannot prove in court by a preponderance of the evidence that this happened. Now, in the interview, a couple things that stood out to me. So first off, we were very curious about where this girl lived at the time. So she currently lives in Alabama. At the time of this incident, she lived in Rochester, New York. Now, let's keep in mind, they're dropping that off in this article like it's Katy to Houston proper. That city is 5 hours from New York. 5 hours. So for this to work, I have to understand that somebody was, when she says that, oh, I had a friend give me a ride to the VMAs. Saying giving me a ride to me implies they're going down the street. Driving 5 hours, that's not giving you a ride. That's a road trip.
Exactly.
And this person had to drive you 5 hours, which is a whole commitment. Are you paying for the gas, the snacks, and then drive you home? I'm struggling with that. I am. Other thing is, she's from upstate New York, Rochester. I think that's considered upstate. I know people from that area. It is very different than New York City. She's also, as I can tell from the pictures, she's a dark in her, but I do not think this is a black woman. So I'm to believe someone from a smaller city. So she's not from like a LA, Chicago, Miami, because a 13-year-old from them kind of cities is going to be able to navigate spaces differently than a 13-year-old from a smaller mid-sized city like Rochester. I'm to believe that a 13-year-old from a smaller city was able to navigate New York like that. That just feels weird to me, and it's hard for me to imagine. I would need to have additional context about how often did you go to New York? Have you gone by yourself before? Because I'm just having a hard time visualizing that. As I told you in my other video, this is just me. If I'm a juror, I'm gonna have a hard time visualizing how a white 13-year-old was able to move into this space and be, according to her, whole conversation with all these celebrities and not alarm anybody. That's odd to me. So according to her, she talked to the twins from Good Charlotte, Nicole Richie, or is it Cameron Diaz's husband, about his tattoos. I can't remember if it's Benji, which brother it is. And I talked to him about his tattoos, so he knows I was there. They reached out to Benji. Benji said, guess what? We weren't at the VMAs that year. We were on tour in the Midwest. And I believe that's something that there's probably really good documents of that, even though it's 20 years ago that you were on tour somewhere else and not at the VMAs. So there goes that part of her story. The other thing that I find to be interesting is the fact that the story is that she's assaulted a woman celebrity witnesses the assault. They haven't said who that person is. She leaves and runs to a gas station. And I'm like, I need to understand how this works, because I grew up in the suburbs. Yes, you have gas stations, but they're not always super close. So how long did you run? I was curious about that. According to her, she calls her father to come get her. And now my question is, where was your father? Because if he's at home in Rochester, that is a 5-hour drive to come get you in the city. what did you do for 5 hours? Were you just
Right.
hanging out at this gas station? Like, that's to me a big part of the story. So that part of the story is missing. And again, some of us could be missing because of trauma and time. Like I said, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm talking about what can you prove in court. That 5-hour time period, I think, is odd. Here's the bigger thing, though. NBC calls her dad. Hey, do you remember the situation? He says, I don't remember ever picking her up from an incident like that. I feel like I remember that. I don't remember that. Not having her father be able to corroborate that story, to me, the story is done. And Tony Busby claims that the original lawyer that she reached out to that gave her case over to Tony Busby's team, they vetted this heavily. Vetting this heavily would mean calling her father. And I don't know how you call her father, and he says, I don't remember this, and you don't move forward. Now, there could be more to the relationship with her and her father. Maybe he's a lifelong abuser of drugs. I don't know. I'm just making up things to think about what that could be about. So again, at this point, they've added more to this that has not helped them. I do not think this would meet any burden of preponderance of the evidence at all, that this more likely than not happened. That doesn't mean that she's lying, y'all. It just means that they cannot prove this in court. So if I'm JayZ, I'm riding this till the wheels fall off. I'm not settling nothing. Take it to court. If I'm Busby, you need to dismiss this case. This is not the one. This is not the one. And it could be as simple as it's too far gone 20 years ago. You don't have enough evidence for that. But yeah, they do not.
So boom, fellas, we got it all right there. We got the charges that was brought up against Jay, the alleged witness telling her side of the story, 13-year-old car ride to the city, VMAs. We have the pro Busby lawyer paint JayZ into all types of webs that he can't get out of. And then we have the pro kind of JayZ lawyer who's saying, forget about it. What's your thoughts on this? I'm going to come to you first, UH.
Obviously, we discussed that I work in some capacity with the courts, right? So I'll tell you this. I literally can go into court at any time and file a civil suit against anybody, right? If I don't let, you know what I'm saying? If I think somebody owe me $5 and I don't think I can get it back any other way, I can go to court and literally file a complaint on them, right? So it's not that you have to have a lot of evidence to file a civil suit. That's because it doesn't put you in any criminal danger. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. Secondly, I think it's horrible that something like this is actually coming out. Again, they're trying. Again, our heroes are under assault. You know what I'm saying? Our brothers, these aren't even necessarily our heroes, but these are our brothers. You know what I mean? They're our age. They're men of a certain age. They've achieved a certain level of success that was not seen before hip hop. You know what I mean? We had rich R&B dudes and jazz musicians and actors and producers, but never on the level and the influence that you see Sean Combs and Sean Carter have. So it's interesting that they would be put in the same predicament from a civil sense. But I think the fact that, especially with this case, that there are so many things. And I always talk about how judges are particular, very particular, but especially about I's and T's. If you can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this happened, or through the preponderance of evidence that this happened, I guess it's a little bit less in the civil suit. Per OJ, we can look at that. But I don't see this going further, because if the pops don't remember driving 5 hours from Rochester to New York to pick up his daughter in the middle of the night and driving her back, man, I can tell you every time I've been in New York City, I can tell you every time I went on any trip over 5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Right. So come on, man. I think it's frivolous, and I think it's somebody that's there to sensationalize and grab attention.
So, Lord, let me, as I come to you, they mentioned Bill Cool Cos, the European lawyer. He, of course, he gonna sought Bill Cosby while he had it. It's, as Don said, you know, they're knocking down pillars of the culture. Is it calculated, or are these boys really just fall victim to being rich and powerful, man, and just started doing wild and crazy shit.
I think it's a balance of both. You know me, I'm a percentage guy, so I think it's 80-20. I think it's 20%. Yeah, we got money, we're gonna do this, that, and the third, but a lot of it is now we're saying is they're coming after us. They're coming after those of us who can make changes with the money that they've made. Like Bill Cosby made so much money, he was talking about buying networks. When you purchase a network, you purchase an influence. You can influence people a different way positively towards Black people. When you got money like Puff and JayZ, you can influence the others to come to our side. When you got power and influence like that, I think it's a lot of it is targeting us. And it's a target. Now, you don't make it any better if you do some things that are negative. The Black person that has power and money, you don't want to put yourself in a negative light because they'll take that and they'll blow it up to a point where, see, look at them now. This is what they do. Now, in this situation, it's civil because I don't think they have any evidence to make it criminal. Like JayZ said, hey man, if I really did this, make it a criminal case then. You know what I'm saying? Do something to me. Because he knows with confidence that at that particular night, I think he said he was in Manhattan. He wasn't even around. He was in Manhattan or something. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere else. I don't know. Where's the VMAs actually? Is it in Manhattan?
Yeah, it's in Manhattan.
Okay, he said he was there, but he was somewhere else. I think he's confident because he knows he wasn't in that situation. So he's putting it out there. If y'all gonna do something, do it. And this Busby guy, man, even though the lawyer that was on his side was saying that he's prominent, I smell bullshit pretty much.
He's a shyster.
He's a shyster, man. And he's going after Black guys with money. And it's targeting, like you said, bro. To me, it's targeting us.
In order for them to be targeted like this, right? To be, like you said, Don, anybody can go in and
over $5
civil suit, throw out a civil suit or try to sue someone, right?
For sure.
You say, Lord, it's 20%, Tommy.
I'm out here smoking weed, speeding, all that, dog. Fuck that.
I'm speeding, smoking weed.
20% I'm out here. They can't do nothing to me. Tommy Buns.
I'm out here smoking weed, speeding, all that, dog. Fuck that. That's me.
That's right. I'm speeding, I'm smoking weed, I'm running lights.
Yeah.
What's good?
I'm doing it all out here.
Yeah, we do what we want around here. I think, man, when I think about the situation, I think it's sad because those guys pulled themselves up and went for theirs, and for the most part, they achieved their dreams. And think about it at some senses, at what cost? What types of things did they allegedly have to do in order to get to that B? You know what I'm saying? I had to double cross my friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? People that I came through the door with, got it out the mud with. Now I'm like, you over here now, and just stay over there. And I'm gonna keep my foot on your neck. And then in the other situations, it's like Puff, through the years of the things that we've seen from Man Let Us Go to Black Rob and Craig Mack, Loon, and the situations and things that have happened to them being caught up with Puff, Shine.
Drop a refrigerator off an Empire State Building on you, the locks.
Stuff like that. Once again, the Tommy Buns syndrome. I'm smoking weed, I'm speed. Right. So it's a sad situation, man. And even though it's serious, they're not like somebody in music. Like if it was Escobar or somebody like that was in this situation, it would bother me more than it do with these cats being in these situations. I'm gonna be totally honest, and I'm happy to see, knock on wood, that you haven't heard his name in none of that bullshit with Puff or Jay. And we all know Nas has always moved different than them anyway, and it could be for
those reasons
that he didn't really get on with them cats like that. Although we all fuck around with people, associate with people, but we don't bring them in the innermost inners. You know what I'm saying? And I just can't get my mind them wanting to even be associated, be my name tied up. Man, what the hell I want with a 13-year-old? That's my thought. Why? Nah, B.
I don't know, man. That industry has always been tricky, and we talked about it before. There's a lot of things that go on that obviously we're not privy to. I just don't like the fact that they're openly taking shots at all of our heroes and at our generation. This is literally our generation. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we're the fathers, just becoming grandfathers. Things like we are the legacy at this point, and we are truly the first generation that grew up with hip hop. So for them to continually take shots at the pillars, like you said, of our culture, regardless if you agree with them or not, they are upstanding, they are influential parts of the culture, and their contributions can never be denied. Who's next? Is Dre next? Is Snoop next? Who's next?
Yeah, if they don't fall in line, if they don't keep they shit on the straight and narrow, yeah, they will be next. Because it only takes to point the finger at you and say, yeah, it's time. Because you couldn't have told us in 86 or 88 or 80 that the feds was gonna come for Cool Cos. You couldn't have told us no stuff like that, man.
It's true.
They all have a time that they're gonna have to fall back. That they let them know that you are still that. You are still black. Because you think about Puff, man. He locked up in there on some he say, she say type stuff. And then this guy from the CEO from Abercrombie and Fitch, the same shit, but he out on bail.
He out on bail.
Yeah. And he literally had a company just made for that shit. Exactly. He had a whole company made for pimping.
All right, we're going to smack you on the hand. We're going to let you go off wherever. But we're going to keep this black man, we're going to keep him up under the jail. We're going to let him have 3 bail hearings and tell him no each and every time. You know what I'm saying? That he comes. Thanks for coming, but no.
Right.
Kanye said, even if you got a Benz, you just a nigga with a coupe.
Man, it's sad, man. I fuck with JayZ and Puff to a certain extent. Like I said, compared to others, not as much. But, you know, I still feel for them boys, man, unless they turn out to be the heathens that they claim it. Because I don't stand by that, man. And it's another funny thing. We're gonna get to this. Then speaking of what you don't stand by, let's listen to one of Puff's victims real quick.
Ooh.
It was incredibly painful, and he was acting like it was nothing.
Yes, he sat in the dark, but he brought into the light some very disturbing allegations against Diddy.
I was screaming. I was telling him to stop.
More than 24 accusers have filed suit against the still imprisoned rap mogul. But this man is the very first to do an on-camera interview telling his chilling story to CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister.
It was abusive beyond belief.
The man, identified only as John Doe, says he was hired by a security firm to work at one of Sean Combs' famous white parties in the Hamptons.
Hey, yo, what's up, yo? It's your boy Diddy.
At first, he was incredibly friendly, very gracious.
But the accuser's lawsuit, obtained by Extra, claims that Combs targeted him, providing him with drinks throughout the night.
This didn't come from staff or someone holding a tray of drinks. It came from him directly.
Correct. The first drink started to have some effect on me, and I just thought, wow, these are really strong drinks. It wasn't until the second drink, and it was already too late, that I realized that there was something wrong with the drinks.
In the suit filed in October, the man claims Diddy pushed him into a van, held him down, and sexually assaulted him. He says he could not escape because he had been drugged.
Sean Combs was waiting in the wings. He was watching from some sort of vantage point. And once I was in a helpless position and he was sure that he was in a position of power, then he took advantage of the situation.
Oh!
The brand new interview is the latest scoop for Elizabeth, who was the first with the video of Diddy's hotel assault, then girlfriend Cassie Ventura.
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
That video and Cassie's suit, which Diddy settled quickly, set off an avalanche of allegations against Combs after the feds executed coast-to-coast raids of his mansions and later filed federal sex trafficking charges.
These accusations continue to build a pattern, and they also mirror a lot of the charges that were laid out in the indictment.
I spoke with Elizabeth shortly after attorneys for John Doe and 5 others filed their suits.
They had said that their client's allegations occurred late night, right after the white party. That said, there were 2 accusers from these 6 new lawsuits who said that they were allegedly assaulted during the white parties, not at an after party.
And today on CNN, Elizabeth revealed some more details about the accuser.
This was the first time that he has told anyone other than his attorneys this story. He says that he did not tell his wife at the time, who he was married to when this allegedly happened to him, and that is one of the big reasons why he wants to remain anonymous.
For his part, Diddy has denied the allegations in the lawsuits against him and in the federal indictment. His trial is scheduled for next May.
So yeah, man. Is this motherfucker look like Chief from what was the Give Me a Break? He looked like the Chief, the silhouette, the Chief from motherfucking Give Me a Break and shit. You know what I'm saying? Come on. What the hell, man?
I don't like him too.
Listen, man, all jokes aside, if Puff is a body man, for say, wouldn't you think this nigga would have body men from France and Peru? He would have the finest of the men to choose from. He ain't just running down on cheap.
Just running down.
He's trying to bang out Chief Kaminsky.
Yeah, man.
Running down on Bruce Smith or somebody. I don't know, man. Yeah, I can dig it. My whole thing is this whole absurdity is, like I said, is as long as it's not no kids or nobody forced, or nobody getting drugged, nothing like that, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Because people get in situations and they be hyped. I'm in a Puff white party and whoop-de-woo, I'm banging mad drinks. And you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know,
he make it seem like Puff was standing in the corner sipping up my martinis, eyeing him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get
right
him.
there.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You think Puff wants you, nigga? Come on, man.
Go tap his man. Check him out.
Yeah, go put him in the van.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him.
Put him in the van. Come on, man.
What the hell, Lord?
I think the thing about that, when they showed the Cassie video and him actually assaulting her, I think that opened the floodgates for a lot of people to just start making accusations. And again, here I'm in of a certain age. We don't approve of anything, any of this assaults and essays and all that. But I think it opens the floodgates for people like Busby and people to make accusations. And at the end of the day, it turns into a money grab. And it's foggy because you don't want to believe certain things, but then you do want to believe certain things. And then you're in the middle. And then you're like, wait a minute. He did this to Cassie. Maybe he did this. But then maybe not, because why is he looking to come after Chief Kaminsky? Unless said he can go after the finest men in the world, he's going after this guy. Come on, man. Again, that's when I smell bullshit.
First of all, my first thought is, why is Puff bringing me a drink? You know what I'm saying? Why is he bringing me a drink? Not all these waitresses that's mingling around the party or whatever. Puff just so happens to say,
yeah, for you.
Try this.
Yeah.
It's magnificent.
That should let you know right there.
It's like you said, man, we live in America, man. It's the great paper chase is what it's about.
Yeah.
No matter how you're going to get it, go get it. Rob, steal, cheat. Just, what's the root, right?
Crazy.
Man, again, and we said it from the beginning. If there's truth to him trafficking underage kids, boys, girls, that's the case, man. And he was doing some foul stuff, obviously hit him in the head with the book. But for, like we just said, for the guy from Abercrombie and Fitch to be basically charged with the damn near the same thing.
Worse.
And go ahead and give a soul clap and tell him we'll holler at you in court. That just ain't right, man.
Double standard.
But again, as you said, double standards. And speaking of double standards, y'all, I sent y'all in the rundown about what we were going to talk about on this episode. Please share, subscribe, and comment down low. Please
hit that notification bell.
There again. Tell them again.
Hit that notification bell. Wednesdays at 4 o'clock. It's on and popping.
So you can get that soup when it's hot. So what I'm getting at, man, is these motherfuckers down in Broward County, man, and setting us up to fail. And just using us for test case, using us to fill cases so they can make their quotas, using us to fill up the private prisons.
Right.
Broward County, man, they was actually cooking up their own crack and then going out and peddling it. You know what I mean? Cooking up their own special recipe.
Cooking crack.
Spices. And then just going out in the hood and say, well, here you go, man. You know what I mean? Here you go, tough tone. And a couple hours later, hit the UE and come back and lock them up. Let's get into this real quick.
That's wild.
A really ironic story. So the Broward County Sheriff's Office used to cook their own crack cocaine. Involved in state. Okay, yeah, they used to actually cook their own crack cocaine. Put up the picture full mask. We have kind of a feel-good ending to this story. According to CBS News 12 in Florida, for 3 years, the Broward County Sheriff's Office produced its own crack cocaine. So it could sell it to people that deputies would then arrest for buying crack cocaine.
Wow.
Wicked.
This is textbook entrapment. Now, what is entrapment? Entrapment is basically, hey, even though the person may have technically done something, the government created the scenario, and if it had not been for the government creating the scenario, top to bottom, the crime would have never occurred. This is entrapment, all right? So they cooked the damn crack cocaine, ate it themselves. It was a practice the Florida State Supreme Court repeatedly described as outrageous in its 1993 ruling that such reverse things violated an individual's right to due process. More than 30 years later, though, a routine audit of documents found hundreds of those arrests and convictions are still on the books, and part of people's criminal records, and it should not be. So on Friday, the state attorney for Broward County, Harold Pryor, announced his office planned to do something about that, declaring, quote, "It is never too late to do the right thing. These records may be a dim memory or an unfortunate part of history to many, but they have had a long-lasting and severe impact on the lives of the people who were arrested, as well as their families and the wider community," Pryor added. The state attorney's office explained that despite the Supreme Court's decision, many of these cases were never vacated. That means they could still weigh on the lives of those prosecuted under the unconstitutional program, affecting their ability to get a job, find a home, or appearing in criminal history checks.
Wow.
One who thinks they may be affected by the effort is asked to reach out to the state attorney's office. According to numbers cited in the statement, some estimates have placed the number of cases involved may be as high as 2,600 cases.
Broward County Sheriff's Department cooking up crack, crunchies. They cooking up crunchies, P, and going out and got the best. You know they got the best work.
Word.
Come on, man. Ain't nobody competing with they cook.
Come on, man. They got the recipe too. Yeah, the thing about it is a lot of us, well, we're not a monolith, and a lot of us don't believe in systemic racism. But come on now. The jails, there's private-owned jails that need to make money. So they have to, sometimes there's situations where there's not any crime going on. So now you're creating crime to fill up the jails. It's a system. Now, first of all, I'd like to know who gave them the recipe for the crack, first off, with the baking soda. I don't know if they put a little milk in it. I don't know what's going on. But I'd like to know I'd like to know who gave them the recipe and where they cooking it up at. Is they cooking it up in the precinct in the back, or where
Nah, shit, they done made a crack house.
Oh, they got a whole,
Cooking up
they
that
got a
fucking
crack.
crack house, man.
They got a
Where they cooking it up, man?
Yes.
crack house, huh? Wow. And
Wow,
then
these
they
dudes
sell
are
it to you,
incredible.
then they arrest you for taking it. Come on, man. That's just ridiculous. And like the guy said, it's classic entrapment. How you gonna sell me some crack and then turn around and arrest me for taking the rock? Come on, man. This is just ridiculous, man. I don't know, bro. I just, it's right in our face. They just don't care. It's all about the bread. What it comes down to, they got to fill up these private prisons. In order to fill them up, they got to create some crime and cook some crack and arrest people from turn around and hey, here you go with it, turn around and turn their hat around and be like, you under arrest.
UH, man, these dudes, man, who comes up with this? They sit down and plan this out that we're gonna start cooking up and put it in the hood and make mass arrests.
Man, that's wicked. And obviously, by those being the daily part of justice that we all deal with, it's hysterically funny, but it's also extremely tragic.
Fucking corrupt. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they are continuing to put us in a better position. So how can we expect to be better and expect to have crime lowered in our neighborhoods, and expect things to be calm and us move forward when we've got the people who are supposed to protect and
serve,
not serve us crack, but serve us. You know what I mean? What the hell is really going on, man? And like D said, my question is, who was cooking the crack? I'm from the hood. We all from the neighborhoods. I still don't know how to cook crack. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up in the crack era. I got friends who used to smoke crunchies and woos and all that type of shit. And I will stand on this and I love to say this, I have never sold a bag of crack in my life. Ever.
Yeah.
That would make all three of us, we've never sold.
Know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We understand the devastation. We had to live through the devastation and our friends being locked up and our friends falling a victim to it and it affecting their lives. So you look at 40 years down the line, to see stuff like this still happening to young black men is indeed a crime, and it should be punished accordingly because they're taking away their future, man. You know what I'm saying? They got serious drug arrests, big ass felonies. You know what I mean? These people are going to be relegated to a certain economic class unless they find some creative way to get themselves out of it. And a lot of people just don't have that, or either have the opportunity, the facilities, or the will to go ahead and do that. So that's totally disrespectful to us.
Corrupt.
Yeah.
And listen, man, we all know because we've seen it. Boys getting 5 years for the 8 ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? From the littlest hand to hand, they locking up young men and they setting them up. So in my opinion, it's got to be some monies coming from this. I know my man Ben Crump is soon to show, you know what I mean? To be like, listen, yeah, this is what y'all doing, but we need a couple dollars for this.
Mm-hmm.
Broward County, that's what Ben Crump is right out of Florida.
Right.
To be exact. You know what I'm saying?
Class action, they ass.
Right. And whoever locked up, they need to let them people out too, man.
Easy.
Man. That's crazy.
Anybody during that time frame that was locked up for crack cocaine specifically, yeah, they got needs to be looked at, fam.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about a case, and it was that Daniel Penny case, and they totally threw that out, closed it up, shook his hand, saluted him, and where did you know where it ended up yesterday, right?
Wasn't he at some kind of football game, an Army Navy game, or some shit like that?
Exactly. He's a former Marine or whatever. So not only was he at the Army Navy game,
he was a guest of.
And he's in the booth with Agent Red and your man, what's his name?
JD Vance.
JD Vance.
Oh wow, okay.
He special guest appearance with 47 and JD Vance.
Wow.
Hero. He's American hero because he put the man in the Dauphine and put the lights out. As we continue to cook, man, I don't know if y'all saw little Katie Clark got into some heat this week. Caitlin Clark, because she spoke truth. And now the Europeans is mad at her.
Right.
Give it to me.
Yes. Yeah. She rolled the backs of the Lisa Leslies and the Cheryl Swoops and the Dawn. She gave it up. And they was like, she's woke.
Right.
Oh, they call her woke? No.
She can't woke. They mad at her now because she spoke some real shit.
That her favorite WNBA players are black players. See, that's what she patterned her game off of. Yeah.
Truth to power. Yeah.
And these, as soon as that happened, as they call them, these snowflakes, they go crazy, man. As we barrel on to the new year, man, live in 25, and this fool gets the reins again. We always talking shit about the media because we all say the media ain't shit. We all
pretty much.
For the longest time, when people would say don't believe the hype, we took it and filed it in the back of our heads. Over these 6 months or so, you know, the media been on some sucker shit. So look at this, the next sucker shit that happened yesterday. Peep this. Peep the G that killed me. $15 million. ABC paid $15 million to Trump. A defamation suit by the president-elect. So he sued ABC and George Stephanopoulos for some shit that he said about Trump. They like, we got to get in line. Now, how the fuck do you expect them to cover this man now? If they scared to say anything at all?
Yeah, it's not going to be any objectivity whatsoever. It's going to be all kissing his ass. They can't do nothing now. What they going to be able to do during this 4 years?
Exactly.
You know? We're not going to get the real news ever. It's just, it is what it is. It's ridiculous that the money is the money's controlling the media, man. That is what it is, man. It's just crazy, man. So we got to get our news from each other. We got to do our own research. I got to get news from Fro, and I got to get my news from Don, because that's where I'm getting it from anyway. So I'm gonna just continue to do that, because the media is just ridiculous now.
What goes through your dome when you see that right there? You ate?
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because we talk about Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, these boys, you know what I'm saying? Harold, what was the Harold? Not Harold Washington. What was the Max black dude? Max Robinson. You know what I'm saying? We talk about all these anchors and all these people who have so much integrity.
Bernie Nichols.
You know what I mean? And so many people who have so much integrity. And now with the advent of the 24-hour cable news cycle, man, we've just seen it go to shit.
It's over.
For lack of a better word. And if it gets to the point where corporations are actually paying to kowtow, probably the best word to use, to political candidates because of their unfavorable coverage, man, it's over. It's over. It's over, bro. It's over, bro.
It's a wrap.
So it's no need. As much as I don't like Rocket Man, I may have to get on Twitter because the news is fast and it generally comes from people as opposed to institutions, because CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, CNBC, CNN, it's a wrap. Y'all can't get it. Y'all might get me some on some Atlanta News First, WSB TV. You might catch me on some local stuff just because obviously that is more impactful.
Right.
But as far as these fools, Joe and Mika kissing the ring, ABC paying this dude, I don't know what CBS. That means CBS is coming next, because remember he was threatening.
Right. He was gonna sue 60 Minutes for the edit.
Yeah, so they come in next too. So man, it's a wrap, man. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to watch the way our country changes because of the 45-47 effect. Interesting.
It's gonna be scary. You know what I'm saying? The fool already said, telling folks he's not gonna be able to lower the food prices. Shocker.
Groceries?
Oh no.
Groceries?
Really? Those $8 eggs that y'all thought was gonna go back to $3, huh?
He's already talking about that. And look at this one though, Lord. I showed to Donna in a pre-meeting. Here it is. Check this out. Missouri.
Take that. I'll be rich. If they do that, I wouldn't do it, obviously, because
1,000. A rat.
They got bounties on undocumented, huh?
Listen, nigga.
Are you kidding me, man?
This is crazy.
Open carry and all of that type of stuff is going on out there in Missouri. and in these neighboring states, they think it's a game, man. They thought this man was gonna make stuff go back to being 1969, but it is gonna go.
Right.
It's gonna go back to that, but it's gonna be, unfortunately, the Mexicans and the undocumented ones that's gonna have a foot in their ass.
And for all of the Latinos who voted for Trump, this is what you get. And
They're
you
gonna
get this.
be hiding out some fucking where. You know what I mean? Worried about overseer.
Right.
Officer overseer.
Overseer.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you said it. Last week I was walking by. We've got a lady that works on our advertising, white lady, middle-aged white lady who works on our advertising at the job. And she was talking to the operations manager, and I just heard him say that, oh yeah, I'm legal, but I wasn't born here. And she was like, oh, you're not worried about anything? No, I'm not worried about anything. And I just walked by and I was like,
you better be worried.
You better be
have
worried.
a job in like 3 months.
Especially if they pass that $1,000 bounty on your head.
Listen, these boys is getting rid of birthright citizenship. They get, what's the other shit they getting rid of? Immigration, citizenship by marriage. They getting rid of, what's that? When you come over and you're for work visas, they getting rid of them. Yo, this country is about to be turned upside down. And I got a business idea I'm gonna put into effect. I'm just waiting to see how it's going to go. Believe me, I've got a way to make some money.
It's not pretty, man. As we wrap up this episode right here this week, man, I want to bring something to light that's right there in your area, UH. Where you putting it down?
The terrible Atlanta Falcons?
No, not the dirty beds. So yeah, man, as we end this episode of The Soup, man, we want to end it with some positivity, man. We're going to stay positive no matter what, through the good and the bad, through the bad and the good. We're going to try to stay as positive as we can, but we're going to keep it real at all times. I wanted to share this one with the Soup audience, man, and our people who watching down in ATL, man. This might be a new spot that y'all can go check out. You know what I mean? Let's get into it real quick.
Okay, let's go in and check on this woman-owned, black-owned grocery store. It's called SureSave on Washington Road in East Point. It's not the owner, it's the sister. Her name is Sarah from Jamaica, by the way. So say hello to her. Go check this place out. We are not shopping in Publix and Walmart right now. Instead, we're going to buy from a black woman. So go check out SureSave in East Point. And as always, follow us for more ways to buy black as a lifestyle.
Nice.
So yeah, man, that came across my TL. I was like, yo, man, that's what's up. You know, you been up in there, UH?
No, actually, you know what? I know exactly where it is because it's about a mile down from my barber, but I didn't realize that it was a black-owned store. So I'll definitely go over there and support it. I don't have a problem paying a couple dollars more or a couple cents more for something, knowing that I'm helping the community, because it's always community over capital with us.
That's right.
At a certain age. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man, and way to bring that to light, man. I actually saw that earlier this week as well. I think I shouted out to a few people that were local, so I'm looking forward to it.
That's what's up, man. No doubt it supports. Panero, what you got for us, man, before we wrap this up?
Yo, last week we talked about LL, and it stuck with me. I've been listening to LL all week. And there's this website called Fresh Out, and they have the top 5 MCs of 2024. And I'm going to give them to y'all. First one is obviously Kendrick Lamar. Number 2 is LL Cool J. Which I'm loving that right there. Number 3, shout out to the 716. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a female rapper named Shay Noir, but she's nice. She's from the town. She's nice. Also, Sky Zoo out of Brooklyn. Now, I got a Sky Zoo from Griselda, and he's nice. He's a Spike Lee fan. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy right there. No doubt. And at the end of the list, we got Rochester stepping up with 38 Special. 38 Special is nice. I don't know if you guys have heard 38 Special, but 38 Special is nice. Here are men of a certain age. We are of the culture. We support the culture. I just wanted to give that list out.
That's what's up. UH, you got anything you got to say to the folks before we wrap up?
Man, I just want to say something real quick. Appreciate what you have, man. Appreciate the time, appreciate the people, and just really love on people, man. I'm going to continue to talk about positivity and love and vibing higher and things like that, because like I said, we all have an expiration date. You want to be remembered by the ones that care about you and you care about them in the best possible life. So just be kind, man. Just continue to be kind. And I remember you said a few weeks ago, Fro, to make sure that we speak to a black man. I've been making a point. Every black man I say, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Look him in the face, you know what I'm saying? We are here for each other, but like I said, we don't have a lot of time, so let's just make sure we do the right thing for each other and with each other.
That's what's up. I appreciate y'all, man. And once again, it's the same old soup, man. We just reheating it. Until next Sunday, peace.
We gotta win this game.